For those of you who are saying, I really want to study in the US, but I don't know where to start from, I don't know what documents to put together, this video is specially for you, and I am here specially for you. I'm not going anywhere until we sort this issue out. On this video, we'll be talking about the essential paperwork and the documents you need to put together in order to make your study dream a reality for the US. Hi everyone, my name is Zuri. If you're a new subscriber, you are very welcome. Thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning subscriber, I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming back. I do appreciate the loyalty. If you're a new subscriber, this channel basically is about travel tips, immigration tips, as well as foreign opportunities and scholarships. So if this is something that you know you will be interested in, please smash the subscribe button. I would be very, very grateful if you do, because when you do that, YouTube actually shows me to other people, okay? And if you have friends and you're feeling generous and you want to say, oh, I think my friend would be interested in these kind of topics, please share my channel or this video with your friends. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go into the topic of today. I have my laptop here as usual, okay? Now, I understand why you would want to study in the US, because studying in the US offers incredible opportunities, world-class education, exposure to diverse cultures, and countless career opportunities and prospects. So I totally understand why a lot of people still want to study in the US in spite of how hard it is to get appointment dates from Nigeria, okay? Now, I'm not going to talk about that. Let's just dive into the documents that you need. Before you pack your bags and move to the US, we have to talk about the documents that you need. We have to talk about the paperwork that you need. So let's dive right into it. The first one I wrote here is that you need to have a valid international passport. Now, what I normally advise is if you're applying for a study visa, ensure that your passport is valid for 6 months, at least 6 months beyond your stay period in the US. Let's say, for example, your program is for 2 years or your program is for 3 years, okay? Let your passport be valid for at least 3 years and 6 months so you don't have issues, all right? So ensure that you have a valid passport and that your passport is in good condition. If you have a travel history, that's also good and fine. You can also show your travel history if you've traveled to some countries within the past 10 years. Let's talk about the second item, okay, that you need to get ready, and this is your form I-20, okay? I-20 form is your certificate of eligibility for your student status, okay? It is a form that is issued by the school. This form outlines your program of study, the start date, as well as the estimated cost of the program, and you will need this form in order to apply for your student visa. Make sure that you get enrolled into an institution in the US in order to get this form, okay? Now let's talk about the third one, which is your proof of financial support. And some people call it proof of funds, okay? Now, the US government needs to make sure that you can take care of yourself when you come to their country. It is only right for them to be sure that you are coming to take care of yourself and you're not going to be staying under the bridge in their country, right? So please show your proof of financial standing, because without that, your visa officer will not be convinced that you deserve the visa that he is about to give to you, okay? Now, in order for you to show good proof of funds, I have a video talking about the proof of funds, okay? Common mistakes that we make when showing our proof of funds and how to put your proof of funds together. I'm going to link it in the description below, so please go watch it, okay? Proof of funds is not just about having millions and millions of naira in your account. There are other things that you need to be watchful and mindful of, and that video talks about those mistakes that we make as well as how to avoid making those mistakes. So please go watch it, and I believe that after watching it, your visa application process would be smoother. You would know what to do when it comes to proof of funds. Now, the next one I wrote down here is the service fee payment receipt. Service means student and exchange visitor information system, not service as in service, okay? It's service, S-E-V-I-S. Once you've made this payment, you will receive a receipt which you present during your visa interview. Let's move on to the next item, okay? The next item is your student visa application form, which is your DS-160. Once you're done filling that form, you print it out with the barcode and you bring it for your visa application. It is very important to note that whatever information you're filling on that student application form is congruent. And what I mean by that is that the information on that form can be backed up. For example, if they ask you about your travel history and you don't remember the dates of your travel history, I think you should hold on till you have your passport in hand, or till you can check that visa that you were given to know the dates of your trips, because any little misinformation can result in your visa being denied. So make sure that everything is organized, everything is congruent and on point. Okay, now let's talk about the next one, which is your visa appointment confirmation. After you have filled your application form, you need to schedule a visa interview. Okay, in case you're wondering, oh my gosh, I don't know how to respond to visa interview questions, I've got you covered. Okay, I have a video talking about what the visa officer wants to see in your application, and I'm going to link it down in the description below, so please go check it out. Okay, so that you know what the visa officer really wants to see in your application and you can prepare ahead of time. I also have a video talking about the US interview questions and how to respond to the US visa officer when they're asking you questions. I'm also going to link it down in the description below, so please go check it out. So as I was saying, make sure that you get a confirmation of your appointment and you have to bring it to the embassy also for your interview. Okay, now the next one I wrote down here is your passport photographs. Okay, you need to bring your colored passport size photograph with you. Normally it should be white background and it should be colored, but you can also check the website to be sure that what you have with you is the specified size and specifications. Okay, now the next one I have here is your academic transcripts and diplomas. Most of the time the school needs this, and most of the time the visa officer might also need this. Okay, it might be required from you to bring your transcripts and diplomas from previous schools or previous universities. So whatever it is, make sure that you have this handy when going for your interview, because the visa officer might ask for them just to verify your educational background. Just as your school, the school that you're applying to for admission, would want to verify your educational background, the visa officer might want to verify your educational background. Okay, now let's move on to number 9, and this is your standardized test scores. Now this varies with schools and with programs. Okay, because the USA school that you're applying to is going to be teaching in English, you might have to show your proficiency in the English language, and in order to do that, you might have to take some tests. Okay, some tests in your country of residence. Like maybe you're a Nigerian in Nigeria, you may have to write tests like IELTS, you might have to write TOEFL, GRE, or SAT. Now these tests are online, you can read about them and figure out which one your school might require from you. You also need to check your school's website to know if you are exempt. Okay, for a lot of schools, they have countries that are exempt from writing IELTS and the rest, so you need to check. The most common one, the most common language test is the IELTS. Okay, so you need to find out if your school needs for you to take IELTS, and then you may have to write the IELTS and send them your results. Ensure that you are very, very serious with your exam and you pass the cutoff mark. Okay, don't worry, I believe in you, I trust you, I know that you'll pass the cutoff mark, but I'm just saying, make sure that you pass the cutoff mark and make sure that you write the test and then send your results to your school. Now when it comes to the visa interview, you may also have to take that along. You know, when it comes to visa applications, I always tell you it is better to give too much information than less information. So if you can, which I know you can, take your IELTS test results along with you when you're going for the visa interview. Okay, now let's move to the next one. I wrote here that depending on your situation, you might need to take additional documents with you for your application process. Okay, for example, you might need to show proof of ties. Proof of ties simply means that you have a reason to come back to your country when your study process or your program is done, okay, you need to also convince the visa officer that, look, after my studies, I am coming back to my country. Now, I have a video talking about your proof of ties. I know that travel agents don't really talk about proof of ties, and so a lot of people just magnify proof of funds, but they don't really talk about proof of ties. And proof of ties, lack of proof of ties or lack of adequate proof of ties shown is one of the reasons why some people are denied visas even when their proof of funds is on point, okay? So you need to take it seriously. Now, I have a video talking about proof of ties, the importance of proof of ties, and how to show your proof of ties when you're applying for certain visas, okay? How to convince the visa officer that you have adequate ties back home. So please go watch that video. I'm going to link it in the description below as well. Don't worry, like I said, I got you, okay? So make sure you go watch that video so that you can have the comprehensive list of documents that you also need to send to the visa officer, or show the visa officer rather, okay, so that he or she can be convinced that, look, this guy or this lady is coming back home after her studies, okay? Now, I hope that you are not overwhelmed by all these things I mentioned. I know that it can be overwhelming or mentally stressful, but please ensure that you have all these things put together, because I wouldn't want you to be denied a visa, okay? Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. If you liked the content of this video, please give me a juicy thumbs up, okay? And I would really appreciate it. When you do that, YouTube actually shows me to other people who might be interested in this content. So please do that. And if you're feeling generous, you can also share my video with 1 or 2 people that you're sure would be interested in this topic as well, okay? Thank you very much for watching to the end of this video. I shall catch you in another video. Stay safe and keep traveling.